question I want to ask you today. What is the roadmap for learning? And more importantly, what is your roadmap for learning? Hi everyone, this is Dr. Timi with Manifold Leadership, and we are back here at the International Maxwell Conference that is happening in Dallas, Texas. It's been a wonderful day of growth, development, and learning so many powerful leadership principles. When you are in an environment like this, surrounded by leaders, thinkers, mentors, and teachers, you begin to realize something important. Learning does not happen by accident. Learning happens by design. Which brings me to the question I want to ask you today. What is the roadmap for learning? And more importantly, what is your roadmap for learning? Because every person who grows intentionally has a pathway towards achieving that growth. They have a framework, they have a structure for how they learn, how they grow, and how they develop. Today, I want to share with you a validated roadmap for learning. But first, let's take a look at the issue many people face when it comes to learning, to growth, and to change. The challenge many people face with learning is not lack of information, because today we live in the most information-rich era in history. We have access to books, to podcasts, courses, mentors, conferences, and so many more. Information is everywhere. Yet, many people still struggle to grow and they feel stuck in their lives. Why? Because they consume information, but they lack a roadmap for learning. Information and learning are not necessarily the same thing. There has to be a way for them to merge to cause growth and change. And without a roadmap, learning becomes random. Without a roadmap, growth becomes inconsistent. And without a roadmap, knowledge rarely transforms into maturity. Now, when learning is not intentional, people become collectors of information instead of developers of wisdom. They hear great ideas, but they're never able to apply them or to see them through the application process. They attend powerful sessions, but they never change their habits. They listen to inspiring messages, but they never transform their mindset. And eventually, something dangerous happens, which is they begin to believe that they are growing when in reality, they are only consuming, and there is no transformation that is validating the learning process. But real leadership growth requires something deeper. It requires a roadmap. And so, today, I would like to share with you 7 roadmaps for learning. So, let's get started. First, we'll begin by looking at what does a true roadmap to learning really look like? Because you'll realize that there are several strategic and principles that guide intentional learning. But the 7 that I want to share with you start from this. The first roadmap is humility. Humility is the foundation of true learning because humility opens the door to growth. Because whenever the student is ready to learn, the teacher would always appear. But readiness to learn requires humility, approaching the resource with the intention of gaining valuable insights. Humility would say, I don't know everything. I can still grow. I can learn from this person or from this event. Without humility, learning stops. But with humility, every experience becomes a classroom to help grow, develop, and transform into the next level. The second roadmap is this. Improvement is the focus for learning. The purpose of learning shouldn't be to just acquire knowledge. The purpose should be to improve, to gain valuable insights from what is being learned, to make you better. Better in your thinking, better in your decision, better in your leadership, or better in your relationships. If learning does not produce improvement, it is yet to fulfill its purpose. Here's the third anchor. Hope is the motivation for learning. And this is why people pursue growth consistently. When they have a motivation, when they have the hope, when they believe that tomorrow can be better than today, when they believe that they can become more, they can do better, and they can grow beyond where they are today. Without the hope of transformation, people stop learning. But when the hope is alive, learning can become a desirable long-term pursuit. Here's the fourth roadmap. Teachability is the fuel for learning. Teachability is the posture of a growing leader. It is the willingness to listen, the willingness to adjust, the willingness to receive correction. Many people want success, but not everybody wants feedback. Teachability says, I am open to learning, I am open to guidance, I am open to correction, and I'm open to growth. The most successful leaders in the world never lose their teachability. In fact, they surround themselves with minds that are brighter than them and minds that can speak to them so that they can continue to learn and to grow. Here's the fifth roadmap. Adversity is a catalyst for learning. Some of the greatest lessons in life don't come from success upon success. Many times, they come from adversity. Even though no one wants to be in a situation of adversity, but sometimes adversity shows up either due to internal or external circumstances. Whatever the reason is, adversity for leaders forces reflection because it exposes weaknesses and it pushes us to develop new strength. Many of the lessons that shape great leaders are learned in difficult seasons. So, if adversity ever shows up in your doorstep, make it a roadmap for learning. Here's the sixth anchor. Change is the priority for learning. Real learning should be towards to trigger change. If you learned and nothing changes, then the learning process has not yet been completed. Learning should change your perspective, your habits, your strategy, your behavior, or at least it should reinforce the good ones that you are already doing. Here is the final roadmap for learning. Maturity is the goal of learning. Ultimately, the goal for learning is for you to be mature in the way you think, the way you lead, the way you respond to challenges, and the way you influence others. Because the true measure of learning is not what you acquire, it is who you become. So, learning should reinforce the good things that you have known, but it should also refine the areas that could make you better. Here is our final reflection for today. I would like to leave you with this question. What is your roadmap for learning? How do you approach learning with humility? Are you focused on improvement? Are you motivated by hope? Are you teachable? Do you learn from adversity? Are you willing to change? And are you willing to grow in your maturity? Because when learning follows a roadmap, growth becomes intentional. And when growth becomes intentional, leadership becomes transformational. Thank you, and I look forward to sharing with you more insights from this summit, and I look forward to joining you again the next time to continue to impact our lives together for a bigger change.